kind of arranging to, so this is, I have a YouTube channel, I don't know if you guys have seen this, Illuminated Inside Yoga Shivalaya is the name of it. And, so I do that. So I'm just gonna check and see. So it's been pretty cool.
This is a pretty space.
Yeah, it's just wonderful. All right. Always have to kind of do a camera check and a sound check, you know? So,
I do it at the end of the class without any sound.
yeah. So friends that are on the stream, I'm just going to chant here a little bit. We have some folks here in the studio that are kind of rolling in, and I'll meet y'all in just a moment. Deshabandashchittasya dharma Om Deshabandashchittasya dharma Om Deshabandashchittasya dharma Om Deshabandashchittasya dharma Om Punatu Om Buddhu Punatu Om Swaha Punatu Om Buddha Swaha Punatu Om Punatu Om Punatu Om Buddha Swaha Punatu Om Punatu Om Buddha Punatu Om Swaha Punatu Om Buddha Swaha Punatu Om Punatu Om Buddha Punatu Om Swaha Punatu Om Buddha Swaha Punatu Om Punatu Om Buddha Punatu Om Swaha Punatu Om Buddha Swaha Punatu. So namaste, friends. Good morning. So for those who may be new here or newer on the stream, so I run a live stream simultaneously as I teach the class. And there are kind of 3-4 parts to the class: a little introduction, conversation, and then our asana, and then our pranayama meditation. And so I'm going to slip up to the camera here and start my little session of chai and chat. And so thanks everyone who's joined here on the stream this morning. Stephanie, Maggie, Tammy, Beth, great to see you. Brianne, Lori, nice to see you here today as well. And today's session is on what's called Trataka. And that means essentially gazing. Gazing is what that is strictly, if you will, defined as. And it's a yoga practice. It's a yoga practice. And what I would say is after I'm done with this conversation, I'll give us a minute or two, because I'm going to ask for you guys to go grab a candle. You can kind of see behind me, I brought a candle on a bit of a block pedestal, which we'll utilize when we do our sadhana practice, when we do our meditation practice. And so if you have a candle, anything would be good, but elevate it somewhat so it's maybe not eye height, but close. And anyway, so I digress. But what Trataka does is it allows the mind to come into what's called ekagrata. And ekagrata means one-pointed mind. And the sutra that I was chanting, it was Sutra 1 of Book 3 of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And that's it's called Vibhuti Pod. And Vibhuti means essentially supernatural powers. And so Book 3 is really a revelatory kind of teaching on the capacity of conscious expansion, if you will. And the very first sutra talks about the benefits of concentration. So dharana, it's Om Desh Bandash Chittasya Dharana. So dharana being concentration. And with this idea that we actually are practicing concentration. We're really not initially meditating. We're just trying to bring the mind into like a one-pointed point, so then we can refine the capacity of our ability to then meditate. And it's an internal adjustment. It's an internal experience where the mind goes from kind of wave-like thought patterns to stillness, where there's no movement whatsoever. And that's just it's a very powerful internal experience when you transition from concentrating to actually meditating. In Trataka, the practice of gazing is a practice that is said to illuminate the third eye area and develop clairvoyance. And so that's why it's in kind of the section of the third book, Vibhuti, as this, again, as a supernatural power, or supernormal power would be really the best way to put it. And what happens with me personally is when I do Trataka, and I do it on different things, I'll do it on a candle, I'll do it on a yantra. When I close my eyes, the energy moves into the third eye. And it's just this fascinating inner experience. And it takes some time to develop, but then that energy is kind of circulating in the center of the brain and bringing Shakti and purifying Punatu, purifying forces into the third eye chakra. So, and then today in our practice, to help kind of develop that kind of capacity of concentration, I'm going to add drishti, the practice of drishti, in a more refined way in our practice. And we kind of dance around the edges of that on occasion. And drishti means, fixing the gaze, if you will. And what happens is normally in the practice, say, of drishti, is that we're being guided to bring the eyes to a focal point of something tangible. And that's helpful, mind you. But today, I'm going to utilize that, but I'm also going to add bringing the gaze to something that's intangible. in that space. We always utilize the visionary field for the projection of the access of an external object. And it's rare that we focus on the space in between, like literally staring off into space. You'll notice when the drishti is employed, the mind becomes still. And so we'll utilize that, and hopefully by the time we're ready for our pranayama and our meditation, we're really dialed in, we're really wired for this. So be prepared. Drinking water today, friends. Didn't get the chai, so just so you know. Oops. So I'll sit back to my little abode. And take a moment and get your candle, because after asana, we'll kind of roll, right into our practice. And I'm just going to leave this here for now. I'll probably adjust the position of it, for our friends here in the room. And just get comfy. As I get comfy, and grab your candle. And let the eyes gently close down when you're ready. Be comfortable in the asana, in the seated position. And then just gently begin to breathe into the diaphragm, the belly breath. We know this, the technique is to extend the belly outward as we initiate the inhale, to the spine as we exhale. What's happened culturally is we're training our brains to be like ungrounded. We're training the capacity of our being to move through multiple things simultaneously, and we've proven that that's a very inefficient way to function as a human. And so our concentration and its capacities year after year is degrading. And so what I would offer for the sankalpa, for the intention, is to kind of pick something in the scan of your life that could possibly benefit from just a little more attention, a little more increase of concentration, a little more focus. Because what we know is where the mind focuses, energy will flow. The yogis saw this as a relationship between chitta, the individuated conscious field, and prana, life force energy. So if we seed anything with our mind and time, it will flourish. Just breathe into that, friends. Just begin with chanting the mantra of Om here together a couple times, and I'll chant a thing or two, and then we'll begin our asana practice. And so exhale, you're breathing completely, and now take a nice full big inhale here. Om. Deshabandashchitasya dharana. Om Deshabandashchitasya dharana. Concentration is accomplished by fixing the mind to one place. Om Deshabandashchitasya dharana. Om Deshabandashchitasya dharana. Om Deshabandashchitasya dharana. One last one here together, friends. Inhaling. Okay. Thank you, everyone. So we'll stay seated for just a bit. If you're on a seated support, you can move from that, so slip that from underneath the pelvis and things, hip bones. And then first, just the practice of drishti. And again, there's a lot of different ways that we can approach this. But first, I'd like for you to find a point on the horizon on the wall, so fix your mind to something physical. It's on the the opposite side where you're sitting. And then it's interesting about the gaze because it needs to be firm and fixed, but also supple at the same time. So it's almost like we're inviting a waking trance state without any rigidity. Just kind of feel into that. And then bring the hands to the knees here, and then inhale, float forward, and then drift over to the right, and to the back, and to the left. And then let's continue this, but sustain as best you can your gaze on the level of the horizon at this fixed object in front of you. And then bring gently the breath into the practice. So as you put forward an inhale, and then as you draw back an exhale. And you may find that there's that firmness of the gaze might be a little difficult for the eyes. And so, you can blink the eyes and even make the muscles that hold the eyes in the head a little softer. Then gently switch the direction whenever you're ready. So just going to be in with you. And then sustain, if you will, this view of the horizon. Begin to perceive the field of space kind of in between or surrounding this that doesn't have an object per se. Yoga is about the mind. It's really not so much about the body. And then gently come into neutral position here. And then interlace the fingers, extend the palms out, continue your subtle focus of the object, if you will, so you kind of reframe that. And then gently inhale, float hands and arms to the sky. Stay with your breathing here, and then take a nice big inhale. Next, exhale, float hands and arms down. Round the low back, rock back on the sacrum here. And then gently inhale, float on up. And exhale, float down, sustaining your gaze. So this is where this concentration practice is really significant. And then close your eyes and just feel experientially the sensations of the movement in your breaths. Closing the eyes, just looking at the dark field behind the eyelids. And the next go round, we'll meet at the top and we'll open the eyes again. So just opening the eyes, meeting at the top. And then release the hands and arms shoulder height. The right palm turns up, left palm turns down. And then just twist the arms here. Again, just sustain your gaze. And just be aware if you fragment that at all. And then circle the arms a little bit. So feel that. And again, if the gaze becomes too rigid, you give the eyes a little bit of a blink. Yep. In the neutral position here, extend through the heel, and spread the fingers very wide. And then gently release the fingers down, tips come together, we'll stretch the forearms, and Garudasana arms, right? So eagle arms, inhale, breath. Next, exhale, the right arm under the left, so forearms, palms come together, elbows out and up, and shoulder blades down the back here. Just kind of feel into that. The gaze now is kind of fractured because the forearms, and then give the head a little bit of a stir to stretch the neck. Just kind of feel your way into that. And then just notice as you're moving, and maybe your visionary field is, kind of receiving other information, how then the mind has lost its power of dharma concentration. And then gently we'll switch to inhale, float hands and arms wide. And then exhale, left under right again, forearms, palms come together here, elbows out and up, shoulder blades down the back. Switching, and then give the head a little bit of a stir here again. Just feeling into that. And then neutral position with the head, put hands and arms wide. Next, exhale, the hands behind you. So now a different drishti, nagadrishti, and it's off the end of the nose. And so it's about maybe 4 or 5 feet in front of you on the floor. And so just take your gaze there, so off the end of the nose. And again, let the gaze be firm and at the same time supple. So a little blink the eyes is fine. But just understand that the head is still parallel to the earth. So we're not tilting the head down per se, so the chin is parallel. Yeah, nice. And then gently release the grip of the hands here, and then extend the right arm out. The left palm turns up, and inhale, float arm up, and exhale it over the head. And then take the gaze to the tips of the fingers of the left hand. Tips of the fingers of the left hand. Stay with the breath. You can ground the left knee a little bit, feeling into that. Okay. And then inhale, float hand and arm up. Exhale, gently release it down. Extend now this left arm. Right palm turns up, inhale, float arm up. And then exhale, arm over the hand again. Take the gaze to the fingertips. Now with the right hand. And just breathe deeply. Keep reaching, stretching. Stay with the breath. Okay. Nice. And then inhale, float hand and arm up. Exhale, release it down. The palms turn up. And then inhale, float both hands and arms over the head. And then twist to the right, and then release this left hand on the outside of the near thigh, and then take the gaze over the right shoulder, looking through the corner of the eyes. And just find a fixed object. Just breathe here into the belly. And send a big inhale, and exhale, soften the twist here. And then we'll switch this out. Float hands and arms to the sky. Spiral then to the left, and releasing right hand on the outside of that left knee. Left arm behind you, sit nice and tall. Look over the shoulder, that left shoulder out of the corner of the eyes. fixed object. Breathe into the belly. Deeply. Send a big inhale. Then exhale, soften to a neutral position. So nicely done, friends. We'll come off of the seated position. So gently make your way to all fours now. So come to all fours, tabletop. Take a moment there. Then let's just circle the hips, kind of unravel maybe the tension in the body from the seated position. And then, so from this position, let the gaze be kind of Naga Drishti is called, so off the end of the nose, so down towards your mat. And again, maybe begin to find just one particular place that the gaze is fixed to. This really allows for the mind to just kind of settle in. And it's a practice, it can be challenging. Gently switch the directions here because we're not oriented, if you will, to stay so much in concentration. The yogi, though, that's our practice, really. And then gently come into a neutral position, inhale breath. Next, so just bow to the earth here. Hips stay lifted though, kind of a puppy pose they call this, forehead earth. Heart sinks, stretch for the upper thoracic spine. In case, just obviously goes into the mat. And then gently with an inhale, float on up and out of it, and keep inhaling as you release the hips down, and the gaze goes to the level of the horizon, and then exhale, lift the hips back. And so we're exhaling as the hips drift back again into that puppy pose, so kind of a lazy down dog, lazy up dog movement. So just continue as we inhale. Exhale down. Subtle beginning. Let the mind concentrate. And then let's just meet back into the neutral position, the tabletop extend. The right leg behind you, the toes tuck under on the mat here. Feeling into that. And then float the right leg hip height, and then the left arm shoulder height. Yeah, and Naga Drishti, so again, the gaze is off the end of the nose. So the eyes are going to the floor, maybe 3-4 feet in front of you. So then nice big inhale, and exhale, rounding. So elbow to knee, so squeeze all that in. And then, sweep open. Establish your gaze, exhale, rounding the drishti. Sweep open. And exhale, round last time. And then gently release to neutral, and we'll switch this out. So the left leg extends, toes tuck under on the mat. When you're ready, float the left leg hip height, right arm shoulder height. Yeah, breathe in. Extend forward and back. A nice big inhale. And again, exhale, rounding. So squeeze elbow, knee towards one another, and then sweep open. Exhale, rounding. And then one more, and we'll sweep open. And then exhale, round. Yeah. And then back to neutral, and then float the right leg hip height there, and then sweep this right leg off the mat over to the right leg. So ground the foot on the earth, the toes point forward, and then just shift the hips back till you find a little contact, stretch of that inner groin, and then just bend the elbows and sink the heart here. Yeah. Just breathe. Going into that. Gazes towards the earth. And the kind of overriding, suggestion is then just let your gaze have some fixture to it instead of dancing through the visionary field. Then float up to neutral position here. So you just straighten the arms, then ground this left hand kind of under the left shoulder, and then inhale, take the right hand to the sky. Give the wrist a little bit of a spin. Take the gaze to the thumb of the right hand, and just capture the thumb, begin to peer into the space beyond the thumb. Ooh, a nice big inhale, and exhale, gently release the hand and arm down. Back to neutral tabletop, and we'll switch this out. So float the left leg here, hip height when you're ready, and then sweep the left foot over to the left, obviously, and then the hips drift back. So you find that little contact stretch of the inner groin. Elbows bend, heart sinks, forearms catch our balance or grounding. Again, just be stable with your gaze, your drishti. Gently come into neutral, ground firmly now. The right hand, and inhale, take the left hand to the sky. Yeah. Stay with the breath, gaze to the thumb of the left hand, and capture the space beyond. Have a big inhale, and exhale, gently release all the way to neutral, back into tabletop, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. So tuck the back toes under when you're ready with the hips. And back into downward facing dog. So we can change the position of this because the light is kind of working us over here on that. Okay. Downward facing dog. So again, just find a reasonable place on the mat to kind of focus. Maintain deep yogic breathing here. Blink of the eyes here and there. More structural integration, right? So the plane of the hands are flat, the triceps are draping towards the earth. Next to the rotate the upper arm bones. We know this. And then little bend in the right knee, ground the right hand, and stretch the left. Calf and Achilles, a little more sensation. Stabilizing the gaze. And then we'll switch to straighten out right leg, then left knee, ground left hand. And a little paddling between the two. A little wiggling of the hips. And just come to stabilize the form. Stabilize your gaze. Breathe deeply. Sense of presence and allowing come into the being, so acceptance. And then Balasana will come into child's pose. Release the knees here, hips to the heels. Hands float back to the heels or ankle, forehead, earth. Eyes can close here. Just breathe into the belly. So we'll meet in down dog with an inhale. We'll come to tabletop. Exhale, down facing dog. And gently walk the feet to the hands of Uttanasana. Notice a forward fold. A little space in between the feet. Let the weight begin to build in the big toe mounds and things. You can give the head a little bit of a stir, a little yes and no. Even grabbing opposite elbows here to create a little traction in the spine in that forward fold, Uttanasana. And let the gaze be down and at least fixed. And then gently inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, so hands, mid-chins, lengthen from tail to crowns and shoulders, move away from the ears here. Just find a place to focus. Dharana, concentration, inhale, breath. Exhale, lengthen out as you pull down. Chin tucks, hands release at the bottom. And then again, inhale, half left, Ardha. It's half. And exhale, hinging, rounding. And then one more of these. Inhale.
And then exhale, and then put a little bend in the knees here, and then send the left leg back into the lunge. And then we'll come up into Vajrasana, so we'll come up right into crescent here. So you kind of make this move and firm up the back leg quad, the heel lifts, little squeeze of the inner thighs. And then when you're ready, float the hands and arms over the head. And then let your gaze again go to the level of the horizon. Just find a fixed point. Just feel into that, breathing. Then a nice big inhale, and then exhale, put the hands and arms behind you here. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Then interlace the hands behind you to stay with the breath. Soften the mind. Exhale, you're breathing completely. Then inhale, put hands and arms overhead, reach. And exhale, sweep arms behind you again. Just stabilize the drishti. And then inhale, float on up. And exhale, float arms, sweep behind you. And we'll do one more. So inhale, float up. Next, so gently float all the way out of it. This time, hands plant, step back. High plank, high push up here. Ooh, take a moment. Breathe deep to nourish the body with breath. Stabilize the drishti. Oh, yeah. And then float the right leg hip height here. Breathe in, extend through the heel, big toe on that lifted foot, kind of spiral in the upper thigh towards the sky. So the hips square off. Then inhale, you're breathing. And then exhale, right knee, right elbow, give a little squeeze in. And then inhale, leg behind you. Slowly exhale, knee to chest, squeeze. And then inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, gently release down. We'll switch. Both the left leg. So be mindful with the pacing of how you move the body. Let it synchronize with the subtle breathing. And so inhale the breath. Exhale slowly, left knee, left elbow, squeeze. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, knee to chest, squeeze. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, release down, inhale, breath. And exhale, knees to the earth, all the way to the belly here. Yeah. Preparing for Bhujangasana. So the cobra pose, hands ground, right? So tops of feet, pelvis as well. And then inhale, float on torso, shoulders move away from the ears. And so it's Naga Drishti. So off the end of the nose is the gaze, so right at the floor. It helps sustain the natural kind of curvature of the spine and the neck, cervical area. Big inhale. Exhale, float torso, forehead down. And then again, inhale, float up. Exhale, gently float down. We do one more with breathing, synchronization. Inhale, float up. Exhale, float down, tuck the back toes under. Inhale through high plank, high push up. And exhale, lift the hips back into down dog. Breathe deeply, friends. So then, as the body systems come under a little more pressure, then the capacity of our dharana is tested. Right? And so this is just the activation of the mind, drawing it away from, the perception of your concentration, the perception of your dharana. So obviously the suggestion is to sustain it, concentration. A little bend in the knees and the left foot steps to the left hand here. Yeah. So left foot steps and we'll come right up into Vajrasana, so right up into that crescent. So back heel lifts all the way, and that really helps open up the hip flexor. Quad active, little squeeze of the inner thighs. Reach hands and arms. And find your gaze again at the horizon. Let it be firm but sublime and subtle.
And nice big inhale. And exhale, slowly float the hands behind you. Here, give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And then interlace the hands behind you. Maybe even lift the arms a little bit. Feel into that. Stay with the breath. Oh yeah. And gently release the grip of the hands. And then inhale, float hands and arms to reach. And exhale, float the hands behind you. And then again, inhale, float the hands and arms up. Exhale, float down. Do one more of these. Inhale, float on up. And exhale, gently release the back foot steps to the top of the mat, folding forward here, Uttanasana. Moment here. Lengthen the crown of the head towards the earth. Belly button to the spine. Stay with the breath. Sustain the practice of drishti, dharana, gaze concentration. And then inhale, half lift. Pause here, put the knees, cactus the arms, flat back to stand, and so we can reach all the way up. Extend the hands and arms over the head. Just a little sway in the body here. Into that. Nice, friends. And then release the hands by the side here. And bring the feet together. And then inhale, float the hands and arms to the sky, so reach. And exhale, bend knees, sink into Uttanasana. So reestablish drishti. Let's reestablish the gaze here. The pubic bone draws back. So ideally, you should see your toes. Stay with the breath. Big inhale. And exhale, sink a little lower. Breathe in. And stay with the gaze. Big inhale, exhale, sink lower still. Then hands to prayer. We'll go right into a twist. So twist to the right, so left elbow on the outside into your thigh, sinking armpit to knee. Check the outside of the left hip back. Then the right shoulder away from the right ear. That kind of opens things up. And if you want to open the arms, you can. So left hand earth, right hand strike. You choose. Stay with the breath. Do drishti. Big inhale, and exhale, hand down, look down. Then inhale back up into Uttanasana. Give the legs a little bit of a bounce. Big inhale, and exhale, hands to prayer. And then twist to the left, so right elbow on the outside into your thigh. Again, you can try the outside of that left hip back, or right hip back, rather, left shoulder away from left ear. Maybe open arms, you choose. Stay with the breath. Do drishti. Just big inhale. Exhale, hand down, look down. Then inhale back up into Uttanasana. Give the legs a bounce again. Then inhale, stand, reach. Exhale, float the hands to the sides. Step the feet wide. Again, hip width distance apart is all. Palms turn open. And first, find your gaze at the horizon. A little bend in the knees, so let everything be a little supple. And then begin to add, if you will, the perception of the field that has no objects. So begin to look at the space and see the space. And just notice the quality of the mind. Yes. So gently inhale, float hands and arms to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Chin tucks, hands come down.
Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant hands to the back, high plank, high push up here. Inhale, breath. Exhale, 8 points down, hips stay lifted. It's called Asana Pranayama. And then inhale, pull forward, cobra, or upward facing dog. You choose, gaze at the horizon, drishti, and exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah. Nice. And then inhale, float the right leg behind you. Exhale, right foot, right hand. So Virabhadrasana, warrior one. So spin left heel down. Come on up. Float hands and arms over the head when you're ready. Nice big inhale. Exhale, hands behind you, interlace fingers. Sustain the drishti. Inhale, lengthen front spine, grow tall. Exhale, bow the torso on the inside of this right leg, hands and arms over the head. Inhale gets the pause, so inhale the breath. And then exhale the breath. And then inhale, float up and out of it, so hands and arms over the head, so reach real tall. And exhale, gently float all the way out of it, so hands plant, step back, high plank, high push up here. Inhale, breath. Exhale, 8 points bowing, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, pull forward, cobra, or upward facing dog. Again, you choose. Exhale, lift the hips, down dog. Yeah. And then inhale, float left leg behind you. Exhale, left foot, left hand, pivot right hand down. Come on up, inhale, float hands and arms over the head. Exhale, hands behind you, interlace fingers. Inhale, breath, lengthen. Exhale, float torso on the inside of this left leg, hands and arms over the head. Inhale gets the pause, so inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. Then inhale, float hands and arms over the head, so reach real tall. And exhale, float all the way out of it. So hands plant, step back, high plank, high push up here. Inhale, breath. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, 8 points. Inhale, pull forward, cobra, up dog, you choose. And exhale, lift the hips, down dog. Just take a moment here, friends. Find your drishti. Breathe deep. And then we'll Asana child's pose. So to the knees we go, hips and heels. Just take a moment. Relax. Babaji said all these things about these practices, and he said about this practice, he said, dharana, concentration, is the practice, it's the purpose, and it's also the aim. It's the practice. Like the whole practice is about concentration. Downward facing dog, please, when you're ready. And then float the right leg here, hip height, pause for a moment. Then take the leg higher, let the hip naturally spin open, and work the foot straight to the sky initially. And then ground the left heel towards the earth. And then bend that right knee, track the foot over towards the left. And then straighten the leg. Exhale, gently release it down. We'll switch. this out. So when you're ready, float left leg hip height there, pause for a moment. And then ground that right heel, take that left leg higher, hip spins open. Just stay with the straight leg initially. Yeah. And then bend the knee. Then you'll straighten the leg. Exhale, gently release it down. And then warrior two, right foot steps, right hand, left heel pivots down. Take a moment, find your stance, so just honor the intersect of the heel and the arch of the back foot. When you're ready, both hands and arms shoulder height. A little pulse, and so dristi is over the middle finger of the front hand. I'm going to capture the fingernail and then the space beyond at the same, simultaneously at the same time. Stabilize that. Stabilize the form, so come to stillness, breathe deeply. A nice big inhale and exhale. Right forearm, right thigh, left arm over the head. So extended side angle, Parsva Konasana. Take the gaze to the fingertips of the left hand. Breathe deeply, keep reaching. And then straighten the right arm towards the earth. Sink deeper into the hip. And stay with the breath. Okay. And then bring the left hand to the sacrum. Pause here, keep spinning open in the heart. And then Ardha Chandrasana, so take a big inhale, exhale, look down, step the back foot in, plant the front hand in front of the front foot, so that means half moon. Straighten that front leg as you lift the back leg. And then when you're ready, take that left hand to the sky. You choose where the dristi is. Keep mine at the earth here. Stay with the breath. Oh yeah. And then a careful bend in the knee of the stand leg. Release the back foot down, back into warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. Nice big inhale. Exhale, hands to the waist. Inhale, straighten front leg, pivot this right foot in. Open the left foot, so 180 degree turn on your mat. And then when you're ready, bend into the front leg knee, so that left foot is turned open. Yep. And then float hands and arms, shoulder height. So Virabhadrasana 2. Gaze to the middle finger of the front hand. Capture the fingernail and the space beyond it. Breathing. Blink the eyes. And then Parsva Konasana, extended angle. So left forearm, left thigh, right arm sweeps over the head. And then gaze to the fingertips of that right arm. Stay with the breath. And then straighten the left arm towards the earth. Sink a little deeper here. Stay with your breathing. Stay with your dristi. Yeah. And then take the right hand to the sacrum. Heart spins open here. Breathe. Then Ardha Chandrasana. Half moon. Big inhale. Exhale. Look down. Step the back foot in. Plant the front hand in front of the front foot. Then you'll straighten that front leg. Lift the back leg. Close the right arm when you're ready. Stay with the breath. Really energize the legs here. Let the dristi stabilize the mind and the body. Big inhale, exhale, then standing like the warrior 2. Again, so Virabhadrasana 2. And a nice big inhale. Exhale, hands to the waist. Inhale, straighten front leg and then pivot just the left foot in. So wide-legged angle forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana, big inhale. And exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward here. Hands release, head releases, and things. So squeeze up the inner thighs, let the weight build into the toenails. Find your gaze again. Oh yeah. And then gently inhale, half lift. Plant the left hand under the face, and then inhale, take the right hand to the sky, gaze to the fingertips of that right hand, if that's possible. Fix your gaze where it's stable. And then just big inhale, and then exhale, release down here. And we'll switch it out. So ground the right hand when you're ready, and we'll float the left hand. Find your drishti. Left hand. Take a breath. And then somebody stand on down. Inhale, you're breathing. Exhale, hands to the waist. We'll bend the knees and we'll fly back to standing. And pivot your right foot, and then step the back foot to the top of the mat. Just take a minute. Little bend in the knees. Again, let the gaze be at the horizon. And then begin to include all the formlessness, all the space. And you can even move your eyes around if you want, but looking distinctively at space versus objects. You might even notice how the eyes are designed to go to objects. And gently soften. So Vrikshasana we'll try. Sutri pose, work the weight into this right foot, toes lift, bend them down, pinky to big toe, and then open on this left knee. You can kickstand it, calf, or all the way high up into the inner thigh. And then just press the foot into the thigh and then straighten standing leg to press the thigh back into the foot. Hands to prayer. And then find a drishti. Many times it's helpful to look down. You may want to try and look at the horizon. And then when it feels comfortable and stable, float the hands and arms over the head. Breathing. And then gently bring the hands to prayer to the heart. And then gently release the foot. And then float it gently down. And we'll switch into the left. Let toes lift, fan them down, pinky to toe. Feel the arch lift. And kickstand, shin or high up into the inner thigh. So foot presses into the thigh and then just straighten standing leg for the thigh to press back. And again, find a stable gaze here. Hands to prayer. And then float arms. Breathing. Stay with the breath. And gently release hands to the heart. Release the foot. And gently float again. Take a moment. Reestablish the drishti, the gaze. Soften the eyes, low bend the knees. So within the fabric of dharana, of concentration, drishti sadhana, the fabric of that is presence. The timeless state, like the perpetual moment. Gently inhale your breath. And exhale, just a little bend in the knees and just hinge at the hips, rolling forward. And you'll slide the hands down the legs. So just a little sweetness to the forward fold. And then inhale, Ardha, half lift. Exhale, folding. And then we'll come into Malasana. We know this is garland pose, so let the toes open, the heels turn in. The stance might need to be a little wider. You choose. So we just come to squatting. In other words, be mindful of the knees, the hips. We can always again, let the gaze be at the horizon. Make any modifications that are useful for the body. And gaze. We'll float into a little twister. So right hand to the earth, the left hand to the sky. Take the gaze to the thumb of the left hand. Just sustain the gaze. Inhale breath. And exhale to neutral. Here. And we'll switch this out. So left hand earth, right hand sky, gaze to the thumb. The right hand. Breathe in. Inhale breath. And exhale, hands back to prayer here. And now you're breathing, and then we'll release to seated. So hands behind you, hips to the earth here. Just take a moment and relax. Sun keeps moving in on my feet here, so I'm gonna keep running away from it, I guess. Okay. And so let's do Janu Shirsasana, head knee pose. Extend the right leg, the left leg out, that is, bend the right knee and just open the right leg here. And then we'll just kind of do the basic form today. So square the torso over the extended leg and just capture the shin. But then let the action be up and then tuck the chin slightly, just so the natural curve of the cervical spine is sustained. And then let the Nagadrishti unfold. So find a spot on the floor that's stable for the gaze. Keep energetically pulling the leg into the pelvis here. And you'll notice when you do that, and maybe even spread the toes about that left foot, the sensation in the hamstring will really expand. Let the energy be up though, up and forward. It's like you're lifting out of the root of the spine and beginning to drape the very bottom ribs over the thighs by extending up. Gaze is firm. Maybe the body's releasing so you can inch a little deeper into it as that's appropriate. And then maybe even the hands flow forward and inhale the breath here. And then exhale gently round and really reach forward as the head releases down. And then just find a stable place for the eyes. And belly to the spine, and gently inhale, float on up. Come out of it, walk the hands up the legs, that can be helpful. And just feel, again, let the gaze then include this trance-like feature where then we're not really being attracted to form with our visionary field, we're just scanning the space.
And gently we'll switch this out. So float the right knee up, extend right leg. Draw left leg up, gravity opens. Square over extended leg. And the hands to the shins. After that, again, the action is up. Up, up. Bend the drishti. Whatever it is that is guiding the drishti, let it just have a consistent feature. Inhale, breathing. Exhale, hinge deeper.
Belly to the spine here, gently inhale, walk the hands with the legs.
Just feel for a moment. It's as if concentration can transform itself into a sensation of presence. And then in that moment, we've untethered Rajas Guna from the necessity to concentrate. And it's in the rapture of Sattva Guna, things that we've been talking about the last 2 weeks. And we'll extend the left leg, so just gently draw the knee up here, extend the leg. Hands to the shins. Ashtangottanasana, let's spacing stretch again. Anudrishti. Inhale, breath. And exhale, round and fold. Concentrate on one thing. Desh Bandash Chittasya Dharana. Concentration is binding the mind to one place. Going to the spine, just gently walk the hands up the legs here. And my friends that are in the room, I'm going to ask you to spin around 180 degrees so your hands are at the top of the mat, please. And make your way onto your back. Slowly just onto your back. So you spin all the way around. All the way down. First, a full body stretch, so lengthen the arms over the head. And very gently here, hug the knees into the chest, give a little squeeze, you can rock side to side. Bring them to that. And then a figure four here, figure four. So plant on both of the feet for a moment and then draw the right foot above the left knee. There's the figure four, and then take the right hand through the downward pointing triangle and interlace both your left and right hand behind the left knee. You can gently track that left knee towards the torso to feel more sensation, say, in that right hip if you choose. Naturally, kind of that right elbow goes into the right knee. The gaze is straight to the sky.
and stable. And when you're ready, inhale, straighten the left leg and extend through the heel and the big toe mound, going into that. Breathe. And gently bend that left knee, releasing the form here, and we'll switch it out. So sustain your gaze, your drishti is fixed. Left foot above the right knee, left hand through the triangle. Interlace fingers behind now the right knee. Contract the right knee towards the torso. A little more sensation in that left hip. And then when you're ready, inhale, straighten the right leg. Breathe. And then gently put a little bend in that right knee. And release all the way. So unravel the legs here. And then a supine twist is coming in. So shift the hips to the right. And then the knees to the left. The legs stack here. Arms are at a T, cactus position. And then gaze, the head floats to the right. And again, just find a spot that you want to focus on, or the space. Just explore the space between objects. When you untether, the capacity of our senses to the objects that they're being attracted to. It's a practice, it's called pratyahara, sense withdrawal. And gently let the knees float up to neutral, and then we'll switch this all the way out. So shift the hips to the left. Gently float the knees to the right. Gaze to the left. Searching the empty space. And gently let the knees draw up to neutral position here. Shift the hips to neutral, hug the knees. And then we'll come into our inversion V bridge across the reverse posture seal. Legs up the wall, half shoulder stand. Ground the hands, little momentum for the feet and legs, and lift the hips. Hands to the hips. Sink the hips in the hands, create that little V shape. The drishti can be pada. The drishti can be at the feet. Channel bend in the knees. We can get float out of this. Release the hips from the hands. Hands at earth, hips gently Slide back to the earth. Hug the knees. And side to side. Here. And then our pre-shavasana breath retention. So extend the legs out long. Feet will open naturally, palms turn up. And exhale, you're breathing completely. And then take a nice big inhale. Hold the breath in and just wait on it. And slowly exhale again. We'll do one more of those, but our cue is to pooch at the belly as we hold the breath. So that's how you're breathing. And take a nice big inhale. Hold the breath in, wait on it. Pooch at the belly. Very gently exhale the breath. Follow to the bottom. Is there any additional comfort that you would like with those? Just carry this right into Shavasana. As far as you get comfortable. The body melts here.
Earlier I mentioned that drishti is tethered to present moment perception. Gently awaken into awareness here. Just witnessing that which can be an observer in you. Witnessing what's peaceful, And gently let the breath here, slowly adding little movements to the body to return to the form. Stretching the arms at some point and we'll hug the knees into the chest. We'll end up on the left side for a moment. And gently come to a seated position here. So for those of you who are on the stream, go ahead and get your candle organized. And for those of you who are here in the room, make sure that you have a visual access to the candle. So Nicole, you probably want to move around a little bit. You can come to a little closer if you want. Yeah. And yeah, make sure that you're in a good position. Yeah, that's good. We'll do our pranayams first for just a bit. Let y'all at home get set up. The pranayama will just be very simple, deep yogic breathing with kumbhak. Kumbhak means breath suspension, and so close the eyes here. I'll kind of teach us through the first one or so. The full yogic breath is expanding the belly as we initiate the inhale and then ribs and the chest, so full breath in. Then get to the very tip top of the breath, and that's where the kumbhak is, and continue to filter whatever remnants of air into the lungs. So we're not holding, but we're suspending and continue to, again, float a little bit of air into the lungs, and then gently exhaling deeply. And then go to the very bottom of the exhale and continue to release the last remnants of the breath from the lungs. Kumbhak breath suspension at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale with full yogic breathing. And let the pacing of the breath be as slow as you possibly can make it. And the eyes are closed here for now, for this moment. The eyes stay closed. Breathing slowly. With your next exhalation, just complete this practice. And just gently open the eyes here. We'll light the candle with a mantra of Om chanted together. And so exhale your breathing and then inhale your breath. Begin to fix the gaze on the light. So the practice of Trataka is gazing, focusing on the light without blinking. The gaze, although shouldn't be overly rigid. Let your breathing be normal. And your gaze, your concentration fixed. Different experiences may emerge as you focus on the light. Just stay concentrated. And one may add the mantra of Om as you both rhythmically inhale and exhale. And the eyes relax, the gaze is firm. And just gently close the eyes. You may see a negative image of the light in the form of a dot in the mind. The darkness is focused on that dot. It may appear and disappear. So and then very gently blink the eyes open and refocus on the candle flame. And gently close the eyes again. Just feel into the third eye chakra. And then again, gently blink the eyes open here. Focus on the flame. Mantra Om. Allow for the visionary field to soften and the flame to become prominent. Notice the quality of the dharana, the quality of the concentration, the quality of your mind. And gently close the eyes. Symbolically in the mind, Om, as you inhale, Om, as you exhale. Just gently let the mantra of Om subside here. Allow for a sense of presence to emerge. welcome here together. So just take some breath. Deshbandashchitasya dharanam and Om here. One last song, very subtle. Inviting here. Concentration is the practice. It is the purpose and also the result. So notice how you feel. So bringing hands to prayer here, friends, and just a gratitude for our opportunity to practice together into Ahimsa Yoga, for allowing us to be in the Sangha community and into yoga itself in this great wisdom. Namaste.
Namaste.
Let's step on up to the screen here. Thank you, friends, for joining. Absolutely, you're very welcome, Maggie and Gretchen. Glad you're here. Slipped in there, and yeah, it's a great practice. And Lori, you're very welcome. Thank you. And yeah, it might be an ad to do this on occasion when it's dark in the room. The inner image of the light becomes more prominent. Brianne, thanks for coming, and always remember, friends. Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. To love, peace, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time. Oh, thanks, Tammy.